You're watching News Central now on News Central TV. I am Adebola Adedugba. The top stories are this hour. PDP rejects Edo governorship election results, says its candidate Asue Ighodalo is the rightful winner. Nigeria demands permanent UN Security Council seat, highlights contributions to global peacekeeping. Zimbabwe opposition members denied bail 14 weeks after arrest. And details shortly. Let's begin with the updates on the outcome of the Edo governorship election, where the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has officially rejected the Edo State governorship election results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. During a press conference in Abuja, PDP acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, called on concerned Nigerians to support the party's rejection of the election result. He asserted that the PDP candidate, Asue Ighodalo, who was the rightful winner of the election. Meanwhile, the PDP candidate, Asue Ighodalo, says his mandate has been brazenly stolen. Ighodalo condemned what he calls the shameful subversion of the will of voters. In a statement released on Monday, Ighodalo thanked the people for believing in him and supporting him throughout the journey.
We must give thanks to God Almighty. We give thanks to God for the gift of life, the gift of health, and for the love you all have shown me. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who has stood by us on this incredible journey. I would like to particularly thank the good people of Edo State who defied the rains, the intimidation, the threats of violence, harassment, arrests, and financial inducements to cast their votes for us overwhelmingly last Saturday, 21st September 2024. You are the true heroes of our democracy, and your sacrifices for a better Edo State will never be forgotten. My aspiration was not born out of the love for power, but a genuine desire to serve the people and create a pathway to prosperity for all in Edo State. I traveled through every ward and every local government.
Still on the election, members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Auchi, Edo State have dismissed allegations of election rigging leveled by the PDP, People's Democratic Party, at the just concluded governorship election. And this was as they held the victory parade following their success at a poll, which they say the APC candidate, Monday Adebola, beat his closest rival, the candidate of the PDP, Asue Ighodalo, at the poll. Our correspondent, Amadine Uyi, tells us more.
The celebration commenced at the APC office in Auchi, Edo State. Young and old, male and female, party faithful, they came out in their numbers to celebrate the victory of the All Progressives Congress at the just concluded Edo State governorship election. From there, they then commenced the victory parade along major streets of Auchi City.
For our victory, I'm happy because for 8 years now we have been suffering. No good road, no good schools, no good hospitals. So today we are happy.
Because all of us, especially in Edo North, we know Obaseki did not do anything. He underperformed. And when you underperform, you cannot get a second or a third term.
You can see the mood of the people. They are happy that the government has changed from bad to good. Our people now have hope. The past administration did not do anything.
Women, they are the super of APC. They are the head and the tail. We use our full effort to make sure we pull out PDP out of the government.
Some presidents say the victory is a reward for their efforts during the poll.
We work day and night to get victory. If PDP know that they don't have anything to do or to contribute or to even get the vote of our people, because they really suffered us. Nothing to show in Esako West that was done by Governor Baseki's administration. Rather, it's fight, fight, fight.
They also took time to dismiss allegations of election rigging by the People's Democratic Party, saying they should prove their claims.
We did not rig election. It was fair and fair election. We did not rig. Everything is in the internet. We won it free and fair. We did not rig it. We were tired of PDP and we decided to sweep them away.
Ask them if anybody's unit was rigged. The PDP voted in their various unit. Were there any rigging in their various unit? If there's no rigging in their unit, there's no rigging in my unit. There was no rigging in Edo State.
It is the cry of the loser. Anybody that lost election, we accuse opponent that they rigged the election. In this part of the state, nobody rigs election. The work our leader has done when he was governor for 8 years is testimony to it. So that anytime he asks us to go and vote for APC candidate, we always trust that candidate.
They expressed confidence that the newly elected governor will deliver on his promises to citizens of Edo State. In Auchi, Edo State, for News Center, I am Amadou Uyi.
Reactions have continued to trail the conclusion of the Edo State governorship poll. While some residents of Auchi, located at Esako West local government area, dispute the integrity of the poll, others say it was a victory for the All Progressives Congress APC and highlight several areas they desire the newly elected governor to focus on when he assumes office.
Yes, really, APC win because of this our governor. The react is too much because don't have feeling for anybody. Anybody will no guessing party for anybody. So now waiting suppose now the east west supposed to receive, now I receive so. Because all the old people were voter in, he use K flog everybody. So if he say he can use your power, but no say power pass power.
The election have come and gone. First and foremost, I would say we thank God for the election not being a bloody one. It was, to my understanding, it was peaceful. So that is all I know about the election, and they will congratulate the winner, who is the candidate of the APC. So we congratulate him, and we are urging him to be a good governor to the citizenship of Edo State.
It's well deserved winning because Edo, we think we need to change and see another better future, to see what is going to happen in the next Edo. The expectation of the Edos are so much. One, we want roads. In Edo State, we don't have roads. In this Auchi particular, there is a part that erosion is destroying, which is Uwarake Road, water tanker. So if the governor can come and do that for Edo North, we will appreciate him. We want good government. Things should be normal the way it is. People that voted him, he should not disappoint them.
This is a proper rob. They rob the PDP. Though the two are from my side, Isha. I'm an Isha man, but they rob PDP. We the Edo people always say, we the Edo people always say, Edo not be Lagos, but Edo now has come to Lagos.
There's no road. Nothing is working here in Edo State. So we're expecting the new governor to attend to people, the masses, what they need. The road, you see the road, there's no way to go to Benin, there's no way to go to Onitsha. People are stuck in one place. The most important thing is road. So the new governor should try and help the masses.
Compared to the previous election being held in Edo State, so this one was quite free and fair. If you look at Edo State, don't have more industries in place, and most of the ones in past are falling. So you should focus on more in the industrial aspect of Edo State.
Reactions have continued to trail the outcome of the governorship election held on Saturday in Edo State. And our correspondent, Austin Azu, who is monitoring developments in Benin City, brings us updates.
The Edo State governorship election conducted on Saturday, September 21st by the Independent National Electoral Commission and subsequent declaration of winner will not be forgotten in a hurry.
That Asue Ighodalo Monday of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Though some party agents have accused both the electoral umpire and security of being partial, stating the party's intention to challenge the election results collated and declared.
Our party, independently, Zenny Labour Party, will challenge the outcome of this election in the tribunal. We don't know of other parties what they will do, but we, as the Zenny Labour Party, will challenge it. Not because we want to be declared the winner, but we want to keep those in the helms of our affair on their toes, as I have mentioned before, just for the purpose of accountability and transparency. People, any evil done should be redressed and should not be left unattended to.
Looking at them, there's no celebration. It's only the APC leaders that are going to benefit from this fraud that are celebrating. So, INEC has done its worst, but we move, we continue, we move on.
The governorship candidate of the PDP, Asue Ighodalo, in a broadcast, alleged that the poll was marred by voter intimidation, threats of violence, harassment, arrest, and financial inducements.
Of this challenge, we must not be discouraged. The illusory triumph of evil over good is only temporary. Our journey towards a prosperous Edo State does not end here.
On the other hand, the Labour Party governorship candidate Olumide Akpata, at a press conference in Benin, accused the PDP and APC of vote buying instead of engaging in free and fair election practices.
What transpired on the 21st of September was not an election, but a transaction. It was enabled by those who chose to stay away, making it easier for the two dominant parties to afford a significant majority of the few votes on offer.
In another development, some respondents in Benin have highlighted areas they want the incoming governor to focus on.
Most expectation, he should continue from where the previous government starts, policy-wise, infrastructural-wise, and project execution.
I expect him to be an open governor, an accessible governor. Secondly, I expect him to appoint the very best people, the most courageous people of this state.
I want to see a governor who will actually respect our traditional institution. That, for an Edo man, is key and is number one.
The issue of roads should be tackled. In Edo State here, I noticed that virtually all the roads, especially the federal roads, are in a very bad state.
If the primary purpose of government is to guarantee security and welfare for its people, it therefore means that the governor-elect of Edo State must prioritize the welfare and security of his people. In Benin, for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
In the meantime, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the police contingent for the just concluded Edo State governorship election, Frank Umba, has given a security appraisal of the exercise. Umba, who briefed journalists at the Edo State Police Command in Benin City, said a total of 6 persons were arrested and 4 weapons comprising arms, knives, and other weapons. While describing the election as peaceful across the 18 local government areas of the state, the DIG said 58 voter cards in possession of a third party were recovered alongside undisclosed cash. Umba further revealed that the police have activated post-election strategies, especially to provide security to residents of Edo State and public facilities.
For now, we have a total number of 6 suspects in our custody, but we expect that this number will likely go up as we begin to expand and deepen our investigations. We also recovered a total number of 4 weapons of different makes. This is also subject of a very wide investigation. live ammunition were equally recovered in the process of recovering those weapons. A total number of 58 voters' cards that were in unlawful possession of a suspect were recovered. Some stolen or illicitly acquired beavers machines were equally recovered, while we equally recovered cash, some amounts in cash. This is a summary of of everything we've done with arrests and recoveries. But like I said earlier, we expect that as we deepen and continue and expand our investigations, that we will be picking more persons.
It's time for a break. When we return on EFCC and Yaya Bello, Kogi's assembly insists no money is missing and wants Olukoyede sacked. Join us again. Thank you for staying tuned. The Kogi State House of Assembly has called for the immediate removal of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, over what it called the unprofessional handling of the case against the immediate past governor of the state, Yahaya Bello. The legislators, during plenary in Lokoja, the state capital, on Monday, condemned what they described as EFCC operatives' unprovoked attack on the Kogi State Government Lodge, saying it was an attack on the governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Hamid Usman Ododo, and the entirety of the Kogi people. The lawmakers accused the EFCC of assassination attempts on the former governor and the incumbent, stressing that the persecution of the former governor had gone on for too long and must stop.
Mr. Speaker, how can EFCC declare the former governor Alhaji Yaya Adoza a fugitive when he has gone to court to sort his fundamental human rights? Enough is enough, Mr. Speaker. It is high time we rise, because an injury to one is an injury to all. This is an embarrassment to Kogi State. How can the agents of EFCC mobilize themselves in their numbers to the liaison office in Abuja, destroying the properties of Kogi State?
This is a big slap to our dear state, an attempt to arrest on government lodge. I stand under the protection of Mr. Speaker on the floor of this House chamber that EFCC should be called into order and call on this unholy act, because this can happen to anyone. And the question I want us to ask, and I would love to ask the EFCC about the act, is that what exactly is their motive?
And we have discovered that all is well in our record, from the budgetary down to the assembly. There was no issue of money missing. The FCC has been calling on our own leader, who has played his part in the state. He has contributed so much.
Away from that, Nigeria's Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, addressed the 79th United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, emphasizing Nigeria's long-standing commitment to international peace and security. Badaru made this known at a summit of the Future Interactive Dialogue 2, Enhancing Multilateralism for International Peace and Security, highlighting deployment of over 200,000 troops in UN operations. The minister called for reform of the UN Security Council to ensure Africa is represented with permanent seats, arguing that this would enhance global stability. Badaru called on the international community to intensify efforts to control the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in conflict zones, particularly in the Sahel region. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, approved the establishment of a Disaster Management Fund And this was disclosed to journalists on Monday by Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, at the State House in Abuja after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. According to the minister, in this era of climate change, no matter the prevention measures in place, disasters will still occur. He emphasized the importance of pooling funds from various sectors and being prepared when disasters strike. And now let's switch gears to education matters, where the staggering 200% increase in boarding fees for model colleges in Lagos has elicited reactions from parents and guardians alike. Now, while some of these parents demand immediate reversal, others demand a boarding school management comprised of parents to enhance financial transparency in all schools. Our correspondent, Omolola Ololade, tells us more.
September marks the beginning of a new academic session in Nigeria, as students are excited to return to school. However, parents, guardians and their wards across model colleges in Lagos may not share the same sentiment due to a sudden increase of almost 200% in boarding fees. The recent increase from 35,000 to 100,000 amidst the present economic challenges elicited different reactions from Nigerians, one of which is the recent protest by parents demanding an immediate reversal of the new fees. Beyond the protest, some parents were adversely affected as they could not handle the increment.
We have had 3 parents have passed on merely from the shock of the increment. As you can see, the increment not only came at a time when most parents had already paid the extant fees, but with the situation of things socioeconomically in the country, is not something that most people can bear with at all.
One of the parents in an interview with News Central Television emphasized the importance of creating a boarding school management committee to enhance financial transparency in all schools.
What we are saying is that there should be a committee as laid down by the law, by agreement, that says there should be a BSMC, this PF on one side and the principal of school management on the other side. So it should be a joint decision. Before now, there's been no participation by parents. And we do hope that with the intervention of the House of Assembly, more parents will be brought on board to participate.
While parents and guardians disapprove of the fee hike, the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education argued that the increase is necessary to maintain student welfare, particularly feeding and janitorial services. Educators, however, believe the government must prioritize basic education and do all it can to make it accessible to all, regardless of their socioeconomic background.
Is this what we want, really, as a nation? Is this what we want? Is this the challenge, we want to be faced with? It is optional, but I do feel that government is able to help, to subsidize.
The question for most parents at the moment is not whether the recent fee hike will address noticeable loopholes in the boarding student welfare, but whether will they be able to afford to keep their wards in these boarding schools going forward. In Lagos for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
Gender rights advocates have called for strengthening the existing laws that will help tackle sexual and gender-based violence and bring an end to the rising cases of femicide in the country. They express concern over the stigma and shame experienced by victims and also the culture of silence which continues to empower perpetrators. Our correspondent, Edong Joseph, tells us more.
Femicide, which is an intentional killing of women and girls on the account of their gender, is a serious crime that is on the rise in Nigeria. Some recent cases of femicide include the arrest of Paul Jeremiah, a 20-year-old undergraduate, by the Kogi State Police Command for kidnapping and murdering Damilola, a 19-year-old first-year student, when dissatisfied with the ransom offered by her family. Also, the arrest of Ayomide Adeleye, a 200-level philosophy student who confessed to the murder of Christiana Idowu, a 300-level student of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta.
Justina Nkang was murdered and dismembered by her boyfriend. Damian Okoligwe, a 400-level student of petrochemical engineering at the University of Port Harcourt. The deceased was a 300-level undergraduate student. To date, no justice. Celine Undudim and Afiba Tando vanished after visiting one Andrew Amechi. They are missing till date. These cases are just a few examples of what has happened this year alone, and it reflects a growing pattern of gender-based violence and femicide that is becoming frequent in our society.
A 2022 report claims that at least 401 women died from sexual and gender-based violence in the country, and many of these cases have gone unreported, leaving families of the victims devastated amidst the culture of silence.
We need to strengthen existing laws that address SGBV and ensure its enforcement. Perpetrators of femicide must face swift and adequate punishment to deter future crimes. It is critical to break this silence surrounding femicide in Nigeria. Public education programs that dismantle harmful gender stereotypes and promote gender equality can help reduce this culture of violence.
To effectively combat femicide, the government and other stakeholders have been tasked to unite in the fight against femicide, calling on families and loved ones of victims to discard the culture of silence, which continues to empower perpetrators. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Leadership experts in Nigeria have called on the federal government to equip citizens with adequate tools and knowledge to maximize leadership potentials and financial growth. This was as experts from across several sectors converged on the nation's capital in Abuja for the 2024 National Leadership Conference. News Central's Joshua Imarayi has more.
The event, the 2024 National Leadership Conference with the theme Leadership Capital for World Creation, held in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The two-day conference saw the convergence of various experts from across several sectors in the country. Participants say young Nigerians must move beyond stomach infrastructure in order to develop the necessary leadership capital for the nation.
We need to know that what is at stake is too much. We are played with the future of this country so much. As a result of that, I want us to have a rethink. I want us to reinvent ourselves. I want us to repackage our values, our thinking process. I want us to focus on relearning, build a leadership capital culture that will help us take leadership seriously so that we can make the big difference that we need.
There are no free lunches. Every meal you eat has been paid for. Even if I invite you to come and have a free meal with me, I have paid for it. So nothing is free, okay? And then you don't deliver what you didn't design. So you must intentionally plan your life, design your life, tell yourself where you want to go to and how you want to go there, which means you must keep evaluating, auditing your credentials.
Other experts urge citizens to look for alternatives instead of depending solely on government programs.
Honestly speaking, government should always be in the forefront. But we, the masses, must always make a choice of what we want. And we have to tell ourselves, we must make sure we get the best from the system. We don't need to put people in office who cannot deliver. And if every one of us is gainfully employed, doing something, even outside of government, you will have the power to decide on what you want. We should not leave it out only onto government. Government will do their own, but you see, the moment you surrender your willpower to government, then you'll be under them forever.
The conference explored key sectors including business, politics, healthcare, education, and leveraging technology for development. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
The Heifer International and Pulos Africa have launched an initiative known as Poultry Supply Chain, the Risking Program, expected to boost the supply of poultry products and also help tackle food insecurity. The initiative, which seeks to engage over 7,000 smallholder farmers from Nasarawa and Kaduna State, will equip farmers with free essential tools, comprehensive training, and vital resources needed to establish sustainable and profitable poultry businesses in the country. Our correspondent, Umar Damagum, fills us in.
From the bakery, restaurants and to households, the demand for poultry products remains high as the fight against malnutrition gains momentum in the country. These smallholder poultry farmers, together with major stakeholders in the agricultural value chain, are seeking practical solutions to the rising demand of poultry products in the country. The initiative, also known as the Poultry Supply Chain De-risking Program, is an initiative of the non-governmental organizations Haifa International and Polus Africa.
Farmers have to have the confidence that they are getting the quality inputs from the providers. They have to have the assurance that the financial institutions will be able to support them to get them the finance that they need to scale their businesses.
The Federal Minister of Agriculture, while applauding the initiative, says that it will help address Nigeria's food insecurity problems.
The ministry is actually proud to see private organizations and well-meaning Nigerians, farmers, that are actually engaged and involved, have interests in curbing food insecurity in Nigeria.
The intention or the objective that we have is to bring all of this tied together so that everybody gets a value out of the system, equitably. Not that the farmer is, left without adequate benefit for the effort that they put into production.
In my farm, when I started with 200 birds with little or no knowledge at all, or sharp knowledge, let me put it that way. And at the end of the production, I have only 25 birds remaining. I had Gumboro outbreak, Newcastle's, because knowledge was not really imparted then. I had lots of losses. But with this now, I think I can do better. I'm doing better. And now presently I have 750 birds in my farm now.
Over 7,000 smallholder farmers from Kaduna and Nasarawa State have so far benefited from the initiative. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Coming up, Ghana police arrest 45 protesters over economic hardship. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. The news continues in West Africa, where Ghanaian police arrested 3 more protesters, including Oliver Baka-Vomawo, leader of Democracy Hub Group, following clashes during demonstrations in Accra. This brings a total of 45 arrests after 42 people were detained the previous day. The protests, sparked by concerns over illegal mining and economic hardship, began on Friday and were set to continue through Monday. Demonstrators, mostly youths, marched through Accra with placards voicing frustrations over environmental destruction and government mismanagement. Police accused the protesters of unlawful assembly and attacking officers. According to police spokesperson Grace Ansah Akrofi, the arrested individuals will face charges including obstructing traffic, damaging property, and causing disturbances. We head to East Africa, where Tanzania's main opposition leaders, Freeman Mbowe and Tundu Lissu, were released on bail on Monday night, according to their party, Chadema. The two had been arrested earlier in the day in Dar es Salaam ahead of a planned protest against alleged killings and abductions of government critics. Mbowe, Chadema's chairman, was arrested on the street, while Lissu was taken from his home by a convoy of police vehicles. Despite being granted bail, Mbowe chose to remain in custody until all party members and supporters arrested during the protests were released. Police had deployed riot forces, detaining 14 people for defying the protest ban. The protests followed the death of Chadema leader Ali Mohammed Kibao, who was abducted and killed.
Amoni shida ya utekaji, amoni shida ya upotevu wa watu na mauaji, amoni.
Kutokeza kwa watu ni kutokana kama wanavyosema ulinzi mkubwa sana wa polisi.
Nguvu ya ziada sana imetumika. Viongozi wetu wote wamezingirwa majumbani kwao. Mimi kwa bahati. Nasema ndio gharama.
In southern Morocco, 10 people were killed over the weekend after flood water swept away a bus, authorities confirmed. Initially, 2 deaths were reported, with 14 people missing after heavy rainstorms in Tata province on Friday. However, authorities later recovered 8 more bodies and 13 survivors were rescued, according to the health ministry. 7 people remain missing. Earlier this month, similar floods claimed at least 18 lives in southern Morocco, where the Sahara Desert meets rare heavy rains. The region is also battling its worst drought in nearly 40 years, severely impacting agriculture. Experts warn that climate change is intensifying extreme weather, with more frequent storms and droughts threatening water-stressed nation. In southern Africa, a Zimbabwe court has denied bail to the jailed opposition leader Jameson Timber and 64 supporters for a third time since their widely condemned arrests 14 weeks ago. Critics have long accused Zimbabwe's ruling ZANU-PF party, in power since independence in 1980, of stifling both democracy and dissent. Timber, leader of the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change, and the others were arrested at his home on June 16 ahead of a Southern African summit in July. They were acquitted of a charge of disorderly conduct on September 4th, but allegation of participating in unlawful gathering remains. In denying bail on Monday, the magistrate said there are no new circumstances warranting their release from pre-trial detention. Former President Donald Trump has said he does not expect to run for election again in 2028 if he is defeated in this November's U.S. presidential poll. Trump has been the Republican candidate for 3 national elections in a row and has reshaped the party greatly over the last 8 years. For News Central, Chief International Correspondent Asue Ighodalo has more.
Donald Trump has said he does not think he will run for president again in 2028 if he loses this year's U.S. election. Trump, who was U.S. president between January 2017 and January 2021, is running for a 3rd time after he lost the last election in 2020 to Joe Biden. He is currently trailing this year's Democratic nominee Kamala Harris by 5 percentage points in a poll by NBC News. Ms. Harris has an average lead of around 3.6 points nationwide. Asked on the U.S. news show Full Measure whether he will run again if he loses, Mr. Trump said, "No, I don't. I think that will be it." The former president would be 82 in 2028, a year older than President Biden is now. The answer was notable both because Trump seemed to rule out a 4th bid for the White House and because he rarely admits the possibility he could legitimately lose an election. Trump normally insists that could only happen if there was widespread cheating, a false allegation he made in 2020 and has preemptively made again during his 2024 presidential campaign. On Saturday, the former president rejected the idea of having a second debate with Ms. Harris.
She's done 1 debate, I've done 2. It's too late to do another. I'd love to in many ways, but it's too late. The voting is cast. The voters are out there.
Kamala Harris had earlier agreed to the proposed matchup, which would be broadcast on CNN on 23rd October. She was widely credited as performing better than former President Trump in a debate on ABC earlier this month. The US election takes place on November the 5th, with early voting already beginning across some states. For News Central, I'm Asue Ighodalo.
And now let's head to the New York for updates on the UN General Assembly, where media organizations and powerful drivers for the advocacy and action on the SDGs by leveraging resources, talent, and content to accelerate progress towards achieving the 2030 agenda. The industry is a key ally in driving forward social, economic, and environmental progress. Media organizations that are part of the UN SDG Media Compact deliver social impact and inspiring action across the industry in support of the SDGs.
To really, we're a signatory. We're part of the members of the Media Compact, and the SDG Award, our way of exploring that. So we have this year. In 2024, Open Planet was a recipient, as well as Ubongo was a recipient of the MIP SDG Award. And we received 70 submissions this year from 26 different countries. And that's huge. That's companies from around the world telling us we're doing great things that are impacting audiences.
In line with our focus on the SDGs, we have a couple of awards that come to mind immediately, focused around SDG 5, and so women. And we've got awards that highlight women's achievement in science in partnership. That's another SDG. With Sony is one of them. Another one is with Estee Lauder. And, you know, a lot of these activities are driven by employee engagement. You know, our work with the World Health Organization.
Sport News is up next.
And in sport, Nigeria under-19 women's team, Junior Yellow Greens, on Monday made history by beating test-playing nation Zimbabwe by 1 wicket at the ongoing Africa under-19 World Cup qualifiers in Rwanda. The victory will be the first time the women's cricket team will beat any of the International Cricket Council's 10 test-playing nations, which are usually regarded as the elite cricket-playing nations. In the game played at the Gahanga B Cricket Oval in Kigali, Zimbabwe won the toss and opted to bat first. Zimbabwe's opening batter, Beloved Biza, racked up 33 runs off 36 balls to help the Southern Africans reach 77 runs, all wickets out in 19.4 overs. Conversely, player of the match, Nigeria's Lilian Ude, was instrumental in limiting their more illustrious opponent with her 3-wicket haul, 8 runs conceded and 2 maidens in 4 overs. A total of 8 teams are taking part in the qualifiers, which will see only the top teams qualify for the World Cup in Malaysia 2025. The tournament, which began on Sunday, will end on the 29th of September. And now to football. Bottom team, Libya, have opted to host Group D leaders, Nigeria, at the Matter of Benina Stadium in their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match day 4 encounter. The facility is located in the city of Benina, some 19 kilometers outside the country's second city, Benghazi. Known previously as Hugo Chavez Stadium, the stadium is a 10,000 capacity facility with an artificial turf. Both countries will first clash at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, Uyo, on Friday, the 11th of October, before the battle in Benghazi on Tuesday, 15th of October. Nigeria.
And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. PDP has rejected Edo governorship election result, said its candidate, Asue Ighodalo, is the rightful winner. Nigeria has demanded permanent UN Security Council seat, highlighted contributions to global peacekeeping. We also told you that Zimbabwe opposition members have been denied bail 14 weeks after arrest. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen, and do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola.